What's cracking, everybody? Buenos dias, saludos. So I want to address something that I've been hearing a lot about lately. A lot of people have been speaking on the subject, right? So I'm going to address it because it's about time it gets addressed. Okay, I hear a lot from the youngsters. I'm assuming the youngsters talking about you're too old. You shouldn't be talking about this. You shouldn't be talking about that. Leave the gang banging to the youngsters. What else? You're too old. You ain't gonna bust a grape. You ain't gonna fight with nobody. You're just this and that. You're feeble. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Let me explain something, okay? Some of you are gonna make it to my age. Some of you guys are gonna make it to my age, and you're gonna start to think the way I think. You're gonna start to see things the way I see it. Cause when it comes to this life, you're gonna see that you made a lot of errors and you were thinking wrong, and you're gonna regret a lot of stuff that you do, that you're doing now, a lot of things that you say. So when you get to my age and you're trying to school some youngster, you're trying to tell some youngster that he's heading for a wreck, you're gonna get the same responses. You're too old. Leave that to the youngsters. You ain't gonna do shit. Uh, that type of response, you're gonna get from these youngsters. And these are the same people that are talking now. They're gonna be talking, trying to switch things up when they get older. And that's not like talking down on the lifestyle. It's just opening people's eyes to it, right? See, I've been through the gang banging. I've been through the life. I've been shot. I've been stabbed. I've been given a life term. I've done prison time. Not to brag about any of that, but I've been through some shit through this life. Now, I'm not going to say I've gone all the way because that would be stupid of me and disrespecting for people that actually are still incarcerated doing their thing. You know what I mean? There are some people my age that are still doing their thing, and more power to them, man. I got no qualms with them. I got no problems with them, and it's the utmost respect for them. They chose that lifestyle. But there's very few that will make it to that plateau. Very few people are going to make it to that flat plateau. Now, I'm bringing this up because it was something that was talked about, and my age was brought up into it. And that's why I'm addressing it now, and I think it's finally time that I do address it. That, for first of all, if you don't want to hear it, don't hear the message, then don't, damn, I got a cobweb right here. Then you don't have to listen to it. You can switch the channel. I'm not going to get offended by it. But it's kind of disheartening when you've given your life to something and you get to this age where I'm at and you start to realize maybe it was in vain. It was a waste of a life. That's how I feel. That's not addressing you personally. That's how I feel. I feel like I could have did something more productive for my life that would have been better for my family and my wife and myself, to be truthful. But I didn't. I lived this life to the fullest. I've done what I was supposed to do. And I regret a lot of it. So I do try to give back to the community and tell them, hey, check this out. This is not what it's all cut out to be, right? And like I said, I get a lot of backlash for it. For those that, and I'm not here going to tell you, hey, I'm going to box with you, I'm going to fight with you, I'm going to stab you, I'm going to shoot you, I'm going to do this. I'm not one of those individuals. It's just, I will tell you, as an older man, your mentality when it comes to stuff like that doesn't change. Your mentality, as far as your heart, your corazon, the balls that you live by, it doesn't change. You still feel in your head that you're capable of that one last great fight. That if somebody runs up on you, I still got enough skills to fucking give them the blues. You know what I mean? And it might not be true. But I'm telling you, in your head as an older man, you can ask any older man. Majority will tell you, yeah, homie, I can still get mine. Especially dudes that live this life, is because we're so machismo. We're supposed to be macho in every sense, so that it's not easy just to give that up. You know what I mean? Now, with that being said, you need to understand that at a certain age, no matter how good and standing you are in your neighborhood, no matter how much work you've put in for your neighborhood, how much time you've done for your neighborhood, how much you've done for your neighborhood, and representing how well you represented it, because there are a lot of fools out there that represented their neighborhood well. There's a lot of guys out there that are older that are pretending like they ran that program to the fullest when they did it. There's a lot of guys, fake actors. Let's just say it that way. Now, when you get to my age, you start to realize, and I'm starting to realize, well, I've seen it recently, and I come to terms with it, that I'm outside the loop with my neighborhood. It wasn't because I'm not down. It's not because I didn't put in work. It was because I'm older and I can't do for the homies anymore. And their line of respect is different for you than they would their homies that they run around with in gangbang. Even the little older guys that are still looked and dressed apart and act apart, they will look up to them more than they would you, because after a while, the war stories about you start to fade away. Then they start to look at you and say, oh, well, I could have did that. I could have did that life term. I could have did this. I could have did that. So they start to think that the times are different, which they really ain't. They're really the same kind of shit we've been doing all these years. Yes, the dressing is different. The way the mentality is different. There's a lot of differences, but at the same time, there's a lot of similarities. So when you get to my age, you start to, from a personal point of view, I start to realize I'm not in loop with the homies. The homies are going to tell me certain things nowadays. They're not going to tell me everything. They're not going to give me the rundown and everything like before. So you get kind of on the outside looking in. And I know as an older homie, somebody who's been through that life, I understand now. And I'm starting to see more. And like I said, you never stop learning. I'm starting to realize that I'm outside the loop with my neighborhood. I'll never be back in that loop unless I'm out there who banging and gang banging, and you look at me and say, damn, well, the fool, you shouldn't be out there gang banging. And I fully agree with you. There's a line you pass at a certain age that it's just not in your best interest to go out there and fuck around, right? And then say I did want to go gangbang. I want to go gangbang with my homeboys and get back in the loop, which is possible. But then how am I going to feel a 57-year-old man doming a 15 or 16-year-old kid? Doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right, and it's not right. So this whole point of the story is, some of you guys are going to make it to my age. Some of you guys are going to see what I'm talking about now and understand. You don't understand it yet. You're not going to understand that you don't disrespect, or you shouldn't disrespect, somebody that's been where you've been at, that's gone through what you've gone through, even probably gone through more. And just because their age is older doesn't mean that you got to disrespect them and there's just some lame on the street where they never participated or anything. Because, to tell you the truth, a lot of what you guys say you were doing, I was doing. I'm telling you, there's a lot of older guys, even from my neighborhood, that I know that have never put in a day's worth of work, never did anything, and they run around and claim that fame. There's that guy Joe Diaz one time. He talked about, you would take over a country if you have 3 down homies, and he's not being a lying. He's not lying about that. There was a handful of homies that did things in my neighborhood that everybody knew who they were. But the majority of them were just there for the fame. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say that all of them are like that because not all of them were. But some of them were there just for the fame. The girls, the drug, the money, the lifestyle. Where some of us were out there doing stupid shit to make that possible, right? At least on our eyes. So now that I'm at this age and I'm kind of out of the loop, the homies don't tell me things. They don't address me when it comes to certain things. I'm only spoken to when I'm there present. It's not that I'm spoken or thought about when I'm not there. That's just the lifestyle when you get older, man. And that's all honesty. So all them guys that are flapping their gums, woofing all that shit, majority of you probably never been anywhere. You probably never put in no work. You're talking a lot of shit. And what brought this on was the fact that I did a live yesterday and Dubs came on. Now Dubs is close to 50 now. He did 24 years in prison. Dubs did not leave in good standings. Let's be honest. That's what it is, right? And I got some youngster coming on, disrespecting Dubs, calling him outside his name and this and that. And the whole object of this program and this show is to get past all that. To get past all that jailhouse bullshit. Now, if you're living in that life, it's not bullshit, homie. It's dead serious. But if you're out here tripping on people, then you should be going out with all the way. You won't be out here long. There's just too many of them out here to let things slide. You know what I mean? If you're really about that business. Now, I'm trying to get past all that jail bullshit, in my opinion. I'm no disrespect to anybody that's locked up, homie. I got utmost respect for them. I've been there. I've done it. I know. But for me, for a man that's 57 years old, at the end of his life, I'm not trying to be involved in that stuff. So when you bring it to my channel, it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. If you don't like somebody in the chat, just don't address them. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to nothing. I just don't want people disrespecting each other in the chat. It's just something I feel that's not right. I feel like it's self-soldiering, talking about somebody on the chat when you're not going to do it in their face. My thoughts. You guys take it as you want. I'm telling you, I'm already 57, man. I've been through that life. I've gone through the trenches. And I want better for my younger generation. That's just me. Have a blessed one, you guys.